should show you Hello World. So it creates a URL for you for your application. And so any changes you make to this app and redeploy them would show up immediately. So all that work I showed you about having to spin up a machine on DigitalOcean, having to log into it, install applications, they're doing all that for you, okay? They're running this application on their hardware. So it makes the process of running code so much easier, and that's a huge advantage to App Engine, okay? Everybody following what we're doing here? So, yeah.
So if you redeploy, do you have to increment the version number? Or if you redeploy version 1, will it just overwrite the other one?
I think it overwrites.
It overwrites it, and it uses this version number inside of here.
Okay.
And you can change that. And it's cool what they have available inside of this console. You can adjust the versions, so it can show you. So you could have 2 versions here, and you could swap them here. Boy, that's hard to read. They really like their very light gray text, don't they?
Can you delete a version? Because I had a hard time deleting a version.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think I've ever done that. But yeah, it looks like you can
Yeah, check it.
delete there. But you can't delete the default version.
You make the second one default and delete the first one. I guess.
Something like that, yeah.
You guys did do that.
And you know, it'll tell you all kinds of information in the dashboard here. Some of that's useful. Maybe we can look at a bigger example. Okay, so this has like traffic and stuff. Not very much, but some. And you can see versions and so on. Okay, so that's the basic idea, is that we will be, the basic flow here is that you make your Go program as just regular Go stuff, except instead of doing main, you do init. So that's different, but otherwise you do the same handle, func stuff, and same kind of handle structure. And then you have this YAML file, and we'll look at more things the YAML file can do later, but basically you just tell it to use Go, and then you can do Go app serve. So when I do Go app serve, it starts a Python web server that will push traffic to Go. Oh, I didn't say that in the video. So you have to install Python in Windows because it doesn't come with Pythons. Anyway. But yeah, so it starts that web server, and then all traffic will be handed off to this Go, this default module at this address. So if you go to that address, you can see your website. The cool thing about that is you can make live changes, and you don't have to run any commands. So you know, I save that and then refresh, and it auto recompiles and shows you your update. Yeah.
It's just it's confusing to me, you know, running in Python or whatever. Just because I think of these things as languages, but are we using, like, can you explain how we're using Python in this context?
Yeah. So the idea here is that there's sort of 2 components of this. There's the application I'm building that runs on Google's cloud, right? It's running on Google's machines, and then there's a local development server that I'm running on my machine. And the way they have the tools written, that local development server is written in Python. And that's because they already had it written in Python for all the other things. You know, maybe if they were starting from scratch, they'd make it Go, but they had it already written for Python and Java. And so that's what's running, and that's why you have Python installed. So this is an example of what I was trying to describe before, of if I want to run a Python program, I have to have Python installed, and we just saw that. If I wanted to run the Python app development server that the Google App Engine comes with, then I have to have Python. And so Windows users didn't have Python; they had to install it, right? And so, but we're not going to be writing any Python. We're not going to write Python code. We're just using a server that's written in Python for local development. But our app will be written in Go, so we just write Go code. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's basically the idea. And so to modify our photo blog, what I'm going to do is copy this code over into my hello here. And if you want the hello go, it was just from the tutorial, so I didn't change it anyway. And so I copied all my code in here, so I'm going to get rid of this, these things here. And this guy. And so instead of main, I say init. So basically, I get rid of this HTTP listen serve bit. Because like I said, the web server will do this for us, so we don't do that. And so I get rid of that, and then the rest should just work. Okay. So what I did is I took the photo blog code and I made it run for App Engine. The way I did that was I took out the listen and serve part, and everything else that was inside my main function, I put into an init function instead. So here's my init parsing templates and handling the routes. Okay. And that should be sufficient to make an App Engine program. Oh, I forgot to copy over the template. Let me copy that over too. Which it was nice enough to tell me. Detected file changes. There we go. So pretty easy. Everybody follow that?
No.
What I did there? No? No, okay. I took the existing HTTP code I had written, and basically what I did is, unless you already had an init, I just renamed init, main to init. And then I took out at the bottom, there was http.listen and serve, right? And there was a bunch of stuff, whatever was in there. And I just deleted that, okay? So I just said, get rid of that, keep all my handling route stuff, keep anything else I was doing in init, and get rid of the main function, okay?
This is the main Go function in your program. The init is what was the main?
Yeah, it's like I changed main to init. And so the idea is that there is no main program anymore.
Right.
Because
Everything else.
Because the Python web server thing will basically create the main for you and hook it up so that all the traffic goes to this server. And so we just have to set up the routes with handle fun. Okay.
And then if we have templates and things to go with it, we just plug them in.
Yeah, so for example, I was parsing the templates in the main function, and so I just moved it to the init function, and everything else worked exactly the same way. So, like I said, there are some subtleties, things you can do on your own computer, but you're not allowed to do an App Engine, and we'll see some of those. Most of those things, they provide a service that will do the same thing. So, for example, you're not supposed to make outbound HTTP requests. And so, say I was using YouTube on my website, and I wanted to make an API call to their service. I can do that fine in regular Go, and my computer will, it's as if I went to the browser and went to it. For App Engine, I need to use their service to do that, because the server that runs the App Engine code doesn't have the same capabilities. It's a security thing. They're preventing you from doing things you're not supposed to. So there's a few of those things, but in general, all the Go code you wrote before works fine. In fact, this worked, right? I used this exif library, decoded a JPEG, and got the WAP long from it, and that worked fine. And that will work fine in App Engine. So most code works fine out of the box. And so that's why it's easy to transform a regular Go program into an App Engine program, is all you have to do is get rid of the main function, and you're good to go, okay? But we'll see more examples of App Engine. I just wanted to show how we could change our photo blog. And so the next step would be you save it, and then you redeploy with Go app deploy. So, and maybe that's what we'll do for the rest of the time, is if you want to take your photo blog and throw it into your Hello World and see if you can get it to work. I would show Go app deploy, but for some reason it keeps asking me for my email. But I'll figure that out tonight. But anyway, any questions about that? Yeah.
What do you mean by you can't use outbound HTTP requests?
I think you're not allowed to you have to use their HTTP service, you know?
Oh. So does that mean you can't like link to other things?
You can't what?
Like link to other things in the website or something?
No. Like links and stuff would work fine, but I mean like, I have my Go program, and I'm gonna make an HTTP GET request with the Go program.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we haven't done any of that yet, but I'm just saying, I'm just using it as an example of something. For example, another limitation is you have 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds, it kills your process. So you have 30 seconds to return something from a request. So if you have a thing that takes a really long time, you're not supposed to do that in a web request. They have other ways of doing that, but you could do it on your own, right? If I was just rolling my own server, I could do that. Any other, Eunice, you had a question?
Can we just move the,
Thank you.
can we just move the app YAML to another project? And deploy it with the same name?
Yeah, you could do that. I didn't think of doing that, but that probably would have been easier. Yes, you can do that. It will like overwrite the old one. So. Okay, cool.